if anyone's watching the clips behind us, or to explain to you. So see how this is all like falling apart?
Yeah.
So while I was away on vacation, I'm on a beach, okay, in Portugal. And then I get a text from Will, and he's like, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm trying not to bug you, but we have like a little leak in the gym. And I'm like, okay, like no biggie. We've had a leak before. And he's like, yeah, we're just debating if we should close or not. I'm like, if it's a leak, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, he sends me a video. He's like, yo, dude, it's not like a leak anymore. Upstairs in our consult room, it was legit like raining. So I'm watching this video. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then sure enough, because there was so much water upstairs, it leaked to the main gym.
Oh no.
So like went all over our turf. We had to flip up all the mats. When I say we, they did. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
oh
so
my
then
God.
even down here, right? Like it effed up this wall, which caused all this to fall down. When you're going up the stairs, you'll see like there's a bunch of the
Oh man, like I feel for people that have water damage because like both my locations and my newest one have had like issues.
Your newest
with
one
water.
too?
Well, just like there's a section in our like electrical room where there is some leakage, and I think it's okay, but like it's a real problem. And like the rain we're getting and the flooding we're getting, it's so bad. So every time it rains hard, like a part of me is always like, oh my God.
I know, I'm the same. I'm the same. I was telling Luke though, because Luke they just moved into a house a few months ago, and I'm like, did you have any water damage? And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, that's like the perfect test. If you have a house that this is like, you've been tested.
Yeah,
if your house is okay, you're good to go.
Oh God, yeah, it's a bitch. And it's like it's always so expensive because to get things dry is like so hard.
Yes. Like we're lucky, like our landlord obviously took care of everything. So we had Winmar in with all the crazy drying thingamabobs. Yeah. But
that's so stressful.
This is where I was grateful to like have business partners.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm on a beach. There's like, I did some Facebook posts. I made some Canva stuff.
You're like, not my problem.
But like they're taking care of everything.
Yeah.
So, thank God.
Oh man.
But you know, kind of leaning into this, like when I look at this, like this is just brat, you know?
I knew this was gonna get out of control. I knew you'd start using brat for whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I could have seen this coming.
Yeah.
We could have seen this coming.
Yeah. Brat, dude. Should we talk about brat?
Yeah, let's talk about brat summer. So
okay, so just so people know, we're not going to be talking about random shit this whole podcast. For me, the big thing I wanted to talk about was just like some vacation things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, doing lifestyle, fitness style things, enjoying life while you're on vacation. But Cortney messaged me today. I don't even know, how did it come about?
I said, do your homework, and I just sent you an article about what is brat summer, because like people should know too that I am older than you and I know what this is.
But barely. Like a year.
I think too. I'm 37.
86?
87.
Yeah, I'm 88.
Okay.
Yeah, see? Yeah, so
well.
Same. But still, you know about this. How do you know about this though?
I don't know, because I work with people who aren't all 45 like you. And I don't know, I'm on this thing called the internet.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy out there.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. What is your Instagram? Just like calorie content and like Apple Watches?
Farmers and things about meat and stuff.
Yeah.
Just boring things. That would actually be really...
What do boys look at? Like cars and tires and tits? Like...
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Bikinis. Pictures of baby stuff. That's a lot of baby stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, so you sent me this article. It actually did help a lot.
Yeah.
So there's this one particular paragraph where I always joke, and like people who have worked here in the past, I've always joked with them with like, oh, I'm so old, I don't know what the young kids are doing.
Yeah.
But it's joking where like I kind of do know these things still, or like kind of understand the lingo a little bit.
Okay.
Until like very much so with brat, I have.
Yes.
And still, even being told what it is, I'm like, I do not understand this at all.
Well, you're wearing green. I mean, it's not the right green, but you're wearing green. So you're like...
halfway there.
You're on the trajectory.
Yeah. So your green nails, is that because brat?
This is brat.
This is brat.
Having two different colors, because I live in a world where I don't need to be limited to one nail color, is brat.
That's so brat. So for everyone out there who doesn't know what brat is, which is probably 90% of the people that listen to this podcast, here's an explanation. You're just like that girl who is a little messy and likes to party and maybe says some dumb things sometimes, who feels herself, but maybe also has a breakdown, but kind of like parties through it. It's very honest, very blunt, a little bit volatile, like does dumb things, but it's Brat. You're Brat. That's Brat. And I'm like, what does that mean?
That is Cortney.
Yeah.
Wait,
like,
we can even
did Cortney write this?
Honestly, we can even prove that because I think before you left, my last message to you was about how I'm having a mental breakdown. And I was like, like I'm getting panic attacks and shit. And I was and I was in a bad place. Like,
what if I would have responded saying, yo, it's okay, it's Brat?
Honestly, I would have been like,
word.
Who has Isaac's phone? Because there's no fucking way you know. I love it. But isn't that so?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And I'm honestly honoring my Brat summer because I am partying my way through everything.
Yeah, good.
But also still running. I'm back running. So.
Yeah, see? Hips feeling good?
Hips feeling good. It's a little like, I'm trying not to push it too far. Yeah. But my issue is that was my glutes. So I went to physio. I learned that I'm not engaging my glutes. So that's been my focus for like, I don't know, the past month and a half. And it's really helped. It really is helping. So
Good. Just be consistent with it.
Yes.
That's the thing that's hard is like when you don't have an injury, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And you wait for shit to break down again.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm
it's
learning.
Like to stay on top of it.
Yeah, kind of the hard way that I'm like, oof, yeah, like this makes sense. So.
Yeah. A big thing for me right now is my adductors. So I see Blair at MHP. Shout out to Blair. The guy is a guru. And he's like, yeah, you need to do like these Copenhagen planks.
Okay.
And I have them in my program. It's a very similar thing with like I refused to do calf races for the longest time. And then like, why do I have Achilles issues? It's because I wasn't doing those. So with Copenhagen's, like I've had them in my program, but I've always just been like, I don't have time for them. I'll go and do bicep curls.
Yeah. I don't know what Copenhagen's are.
So what it would be is like if imagine there's a bench. You put your elbow on the ground and you'd put like one of your feet on the bench and then you raise your other foot off of the floor. Does this kind of make sense?
Like inner thighs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just like strengthening your adductor, like your inner thigh there. And because I was having like debilitating hip pain as well.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you just need to strengthen your adductors.
Interesting.
So just a little thing like that, right? Like I just do it.
You could also do Pilates because we do stuff like that in Pilates.
Honestly, that's another big thing, right? Like especially like on the reformers, if you did Pilates on the reformers, like bringing the thing back and forth. Like, I don't do any of that kind of work.
True. Yeah.
So you're probably okay because you do all that stuff.
Yeah, but then I'm not squeezing my ass.
Yeah, see, you got to squeeze.
So I'm back.
Squeeze.
I'm back.
Yeah, what did you say?
Squeezing right now.
I don't know if it was on your Instagram. Something about what was it? Girls, big booties.
Wow.
I'm hoping that you help me out here.
Today? Is this
I
today?
think it was today.
Oh yeah, I said it. I reposted something that said, "I wish all the girls reading this glowing skin and fatter butts or fatter asses or something
like that." Yeah. Bigger dump trucks, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No, that's
Just
good.
building butts.
Building butts and stuff. So, if you guys don't know already, just by our conversation going back and forth, I'm here with Cortney from Lost.
Oh, hey.
I think last time you were on here, you didn't have the new South location opened up.
I did not. No.
So that's a big thing that has happened. When did it officially open?
We opened, I think it was June 15th, 16th.
That's really not that long ago.
No, it's fresh. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have been open for just over a month, and it's so exciting, and we're
awesome.
Getting a lot of new faces. It's Wonderland in Southdale. Please come ride with us or do OTB. It's super fun. It's like the room, it's in a basement, so already it's like super dark. And the energy of the room is just like so different. It's honestly my dream room. I love it. I love teaching in there. I love being in there. And yeah, you just feel like you're in like a club, and then you walk out and it's so bright and you're like, where am I?
It seems Brat.
I'm lost. Yes, it's Brat.
Right? When you said basement, like all I thought.
It is Brat.
See?
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Well, yeah. Okay.
That's cool though. That's really cool. Yeah, I know Scott, who's a member here and who runs. He's like obsessed.
Scott and I rode together last night. I was like, are you riding in lieu of running? And he was like, yeah, me too.
Don't tell
I was
Isaac.
like, fuck Isaac. No. And then I did my fartlek today, so we're all good.
That's cool. And North stuff's going well as well?
North is going great. And honestly, like this summer has been so good. The timing of everything has been crazy.
Yeah.
It's just been really good. Like, I'm excited for the fall. I'm excited to see a lot of our students come back. It's always really exciting. And yeah, it hasn't really slowed down as much as I thought it would. So it doesn't really feel like a break. I'm kind of taking a break.
Yeah, that's great. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this seems so general, but like I do think it's important because I know it's something we don't do well, which is like if people did want to try us out, they're like, oh, well, how do we do that? So what is, like, if someone wants to do a class at Lost, like how do they actually go about doing that?
Honestly, okay, so follow us on social media to start, Lost Cycle. Honestly, I think the best way to go about it, if you're really eager, would be to start with our 2-week unlimited, which is $49. It is such a good deal because one class is $26. So you go twice, you more than have your money's worth. And you can use that for both locations, both for the ride
that's cool.
and our off the bike classes. However, I know that like $50 and sometimes $26 is like not available for everyone. Yeah. So we have Karma rides every single month that people can come and choose between like $5 to $25 to use towards a class. And then that goes, right now we're donating to I've Got Your Back 911.
Nice.
And so all proceeds go to that. So then you get a less expensive class, and it's also going to us. So
that's cool. That's cool. So then people would just go to your social media, click the link in your bio, sign up for whatever there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And can they choose where they ride in the?
Yeah. So you can choose your spot, which is cool.
It's so like.
You have to come
different.
to my class. You have to come to my class.
I've done Victoria and Sasha.
Yeah, you have to come to mine.
Yeah. My first class experience, because I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
My second one, I feel like I was in it. I was going.
Yeah.
But then I was staring at Emily. She was the one in front of me. And when I thought I was in it, I look at Emily. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. She's like, do. And I'm just like offbeat. Don't know.
No, I want you to come to my class. Because I can stay in zone 2 for my whole class, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Which took me like 8 years to do. So humble brag, I guess.
Yeah.
But also so that like, I don't know. I want you to see the magic.
Yeah.
Of what happens in that room.
100%. Just tell me what one I have to go to.
Yeah.
I'll make some of the people I'll make Taylor and Rachel from Lulu come with me because they're making me do some yoga classes. So.
Yes, I'm down.
Perfect. So something I've been doing the past like three months or so is I'll send out like an email once or twice a month with like like some sort of formal PDF information pamphlet on something, food, this, that. And one I did this week was on vacation. Like, hey, this is some things I did on vacation. If you want it, just let me know and I'll send it your way.
Yeah.
And we had like a ton of responses on it.
Okay.
So I want to record this to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I did just get back from a really, really long vacation.
Yeah.
And I think like outside looking in, people would probably think Isaac's super hardcore. And
you are.
He was counting his macros when he was on vacation.
And he probably was.
And he didn't have a lick of alcohol. And like none of that is true at all.
Yay.
Yeah. Like I'm a big believer, and I tell this with all the clients I work with, when you go on vacation, because you don't vacation 99% of the year, I think it's important that you just enjoy yourself.
I agree.
Don't stress out about, I have to go to the gym, I have to do this, I have to get all my protein in. Like, I wouldn't really worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good to be mindful of some things of like, hey, general health, maybe I'm not going to live 100% on beer and wine while I'm away.
Yeah.
So just a few tips and tricks that I
love
did.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. I also agree that when you are on vacation, you are like, honestly, your brat self. So for me, sometimes that means picking up a pack of cigs the second I get where I'm going. And you know what? Like on vacation, maybe Courtney smokes.
Yeah.
But, like stuff like that, or maybe you're, indulging in things you normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be about.
100%. We always talk about like 80-20, right? Like if you're 80%, living that clean lifestyle, things are great. If it's like 20% where you're indulging in the finer things in life, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we think of vacation, if I go on 3 weeks of vacation, that's not even close to, you know, going over the 20% limit. So, I definitely enjoyed myself. I'm not saying this is what people need to do, but like I had beer every single day.
Nice.
So in Portugal, it's called, you get like a caneca, which is a big beer. So if you think of like, what are those? Like a tanker? Is that what they're called? I don't know. You know what I mean.
Like a boot?
Yeah, a boot. We'll go with that.
Or a pint?
A pint. That's probably.
Wow. I don't even drink anymore. And you're like, what are those things called? Glasses?
Yeah, so I had a pint or 2 like every single day.
Nice.
And I didn't bat an eye at it. It was fine. But things that were like things that had to happen in my day, I always did make sure like my breakfast, I would try to have more of like a bigger protein source.
Yeah.
Because I find when you go away on vacation, getting carbs is really, really easy, right? It's
totally,
super simple.
yeah.
Fats is really, really easy. Even vegetables, like you're going to find that stuff everywhere. But finding solid sources of protein can be really difficult. So I tried to control that in the morning.
Yeah.
And, you know, we would go to the grocery store and I would buy like a bunch of Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And then I always find protein powder. Like, so this is where maybe I am a little bit more hardcore, but like I'll always go and I'll find a little pack of protein powder and I'll have a protein drink in the morning with my Greek yogurt. And then like that would be the only meal I really concern myself with.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
100%. Other than that, I had a Portuguese custard called a pastel de nata.
Okay, I've heard so much about these. And as a dessert girly, though I'm not into custard, so I'm curious about this, but
I would have 1 to 2 every single day. I would have ice cream every single day.
Oh,
right? Like I did all of these things.
Yeah.
But because I controlled that morning bit, like I came back and, you know, things weren't really different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I do think I think that's such a good balance, because I will just say, like, this might sound shocking coming from me, but like, because I am all about like freedom, but I also agree that like we're athletes. Oh my God, that only took me like 10 minutes to mention into the episode, but we're athletes, so it makes sense that we're gonna like to some degree take care of ourselves
100%
when we're traveling, because like for me, if I were to go on vacation when I'm used to having like a really balanced breakfast here and I got like McDonald's every day, like pants shit 100%.
Yes.
And I'd probably just feel so sick. So like there's elements where I do think the world society is a little hard on people about like also just taking care of their general health.
Yeah.
I know, like, for backing up the gluten-free community and the celiac community, I know they get a lot of heat for like needing to bring their own food to things or like source out specific foods, and they get shamed into being like picky or like not, you know, cool enough to eat like whatever, when it's actually like a major health concern. So if like someone can't eat peanut butter because they're allergic to peanuts and you wouldn't shame them, then like leave you alone with your breakfast.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And I mean, I think a big thing too, not just from a performance standpoint, but I know if I would only eat pastel de natas and drink canecas, I'm going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm on vacation, I don't want to be sick and lethargic. I actually want to have energy so I can walk throughout the city and do all these different things.
Totally.
So, you know, you still like need to be a little bit mindful of how and the things that you're putting into your body.
That's kind of where I'm at too now. Like, it's a little bit of balance. Like, I'll 100%. Still try to source out, like good protein and things that will keep me like going all day.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I never stressed about, okay, I have to hit this protein target or this and that. Like, none of that was a thing. But I just made sure, hey, if I have a higher protein breakfast, then I know at least for the day I'm okay.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a good protein source at dinner, maybe nothing at lunch, but like it kind of
you also like that's what you're used to.
For sure.
So it's like not that insane to think that you would like source that out
for sure
when you're traveling. Like, even if I go to a resort, my breakfast would still be like couple of hard-boiled eggs, smoked salmon, like maybe a piece of fruit. Like, people would be like, "Oh, aren't you gonna have a donut?" I'm like, "Yeah, but not at 9 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Exactly.
I'm gonna wait till 11. I'm not
an animal. At least till 9:30. Come on.
I love that though.
So the food stuff was was good. Like, definitely enjoyed myself. And then when it came to fitness things, like
you were running.
Was running. Like in Europe, I don't know, even the other times I've been, it is so hard to find a gym. It does not exist. So even like just with my family, I didn't want to take time away to go and work out at the gym. So to me, like if you can run, that is the best form of exercise when you're on vacation in a place like Europe or wherever, because it allows you to discover things in the city.
I'm so about that.
Oh, it was the best. So like I would find, like certain monuments, and I'd be like, all right, so for my morning, I'm going to go and run to that monument.
Yeah.
I'd go there, check it out, run back. And then
so
it was cool because I was almost like doing some recon for the family. So it's like, all right, I saw some cool shit on the way there.
Yeah.
We're going to go to this umbrella street, or we're going to go to this little monument.
That's cool.
This cool place to eat. So that's like a huge recommendation is if you can run, run. If not, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like wake up early and go for a whatever.
I love that.
5K walk.
It is such a good way to kind of like get your bearings. Like when I first moved to Toronto years ago, I was really into running then. I was in my 20s and I would run everywhere. And then when I was training for my first round of Around the Bay, I was getting up super early to do my long runs, which looking back is like so nuts. But I would do like, say, my like 15K run at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. But it allowed me to see like the streets of Toronto, like when no one was on them. And I really learned the city.
Sunrises.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like my own little time with the city that I wouldn't have gotten. So.
Yep. No, it was, it was cool. In so we did the Azores, which is the island in Portugal. And then we did the Algarve, which is the south of Portugal. Cool. It's like the vacation spot for Europeaners.
Yeah.
And then we did Lisbon. In the Algarve, there wasn't like, it's all just hills.
Oh.
So that's where I did a lot of trail running.
Oh my God.
And I was just thinking of Scott Goodyear. Because what's cool about trail running, and I didn't really appreciate it until this trip, I find when I run, I'll put my headphones on and I'm just like, I'm kind of zoned out.
Yeah.
I'm not really focused on what I'm doing. I'm focusing on other things still. Like I can still think of work. Like I can't completely shut my brain off. Whereas with trail running, like you are 100% in the moment. Because
I like that.
if you're not looking at the ground, you're going to step on a rock. You're going to twist your ankle. You're going to fall off the cliff. Maybe you're going to hop on a snake. Like you need to be present.
Yeah.
So
no, I get that.
It was cool because I found it was the only time I would run and like legit no headphones, no music, just being super present.
That's
and like
cool.
Couldn't think of anything else other than what I was doing in that moment.
That's so like freeing. That's lost.
That is honestly, that is
you
exactly
what
it was. I was lost. Lost Run Club. There we go.
Yeah. I host a run club. I never show up.
Yeah. But
that's cool.
When it comes to working out on vacation, I do still think it's important to do something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a walk in the morning or a run. And then if you want to do like a few, whatever, like a YouTube circuit or something like that, I think it is just a really good way to anchor your day.
Yeah.
And it helps beat jet lag as well.
Yeah, I almost always will try to go to a class where I travel. Like even this summer when Danielle and I were in Vancouver for the music festival, we still went to a ride class and to Jaybird for like a hot Pilates class.
Oh, that's cool.
While we were there. And I love doing that. One, because it's our industry and it's cool to kind of just see what other people are doing. But also it like breaks up your trip from just going to like dinners and whatever. So I don't know, it feels good. And like girly things, go get a class, go get a coffee, walk back. It's just nice.
Well, and the main reason people do like Lost Cycle or movement strength is to feel good. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do that when you're on vacation?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like you should find a type of working out that you don't need to vacation from, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree. And kind of separating the line between like working out and like just moving, because like you could look at it as like a walk with your family as a workout, or it's just a walk, or you can really just keep yourself active without it having to be formal.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like you've done a few vacations this summer.
I have been having my brat summer. This is like, I was thinking about this. I'm like, this is kind of my like launch of the new me, this podcast, because I changed my name back to Grafton.
Yeah.
I guess this is the first time I'm like publicly saying it, but I am now single.
Yep.
I went through a lot this year. My ex-husband and I have gone through a lot this year, and I have like no bad feelings towards him. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you want.
For sure.
Which is like hard to admit, but this year has ripped me apart in so many ways. Oh my God, I'm going to not cry. I'm not going to cry. Have I cried on the podcast
No,
yet?
not yet.
My God. Okay. Yeah, this year really tore me apart because I felt like so much was happening. So much was happening. I had my South build, my relationship, my home, you know, like everything was kind of falling apart, but yet I had to keep showing up, you know, like there was so much going on. I can't really hide with the nature of Lost. So I just kind of had to keep going through it.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because picking this year to be getting back into running just feels like so right because I'm so fueled by so much. But I moved in April, so I'm on my own in my own little like cutie apartment with my 2 dogs, and changed my name back to Grafton, which is my maiden name. Which is kind of funny because some of my friends, like, I made it more dramatic. I was like, so my name, changed it back to Grafton. And like, honestly, almost all of my friends were like, okay, I never changed your name in my phone. And I'm like, that's true. Because a lot of my childhood friends are still like their original names. So yeah, it's just really felt like a year of change. But by June, getting the South Open and then going to Toronto Pride and then going to Vancouver for Faded and then coming back and having London Pride, like I just feel like my heart has been like exploding with great things. Oh, I got to go to Hawk Rocks the Park, see Lil Jon. He watched my story.
Little Jon? No, I didn't know this.
Oh, please, for the love of God, tell me you know who Lil Jon is.
Is he the Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Name one song by Lil Jon. Or sing it.
Is he the the sweat drip down my ball?
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. See?
Thank God.
Yeah. We can still be friends.
Yeah. I was about to like rip the mic out. No. So I got tickets from an amazing client, Gabby. Shout out Gabby. She hooked me up with tickets to the Throwback Show, which was like so dope because I got to see Lil Jon, Nas, Neo. I know I'm forgetting. Oh my God.
Okay, was Ja Rule there?
No, that was last year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was an incredible show, and like Lil Jon was sick, and we like tagged him. Sasha and I were tagging him, and then he like watched my story. Mind you, I'm sure it's not him, but like for the rest of the weekend, I was like, so John and I. So yeah, I'm having a really good summer, but like it is time for me to like gear into my running. I was injured. I had a hip injury, which kind of made sense with everything going on in my life. Stress to the nines. 100%. So like now I'm kind of back and I got to hit this goal that I said I was going to do. So here we are.
Yeah, we got 12 weeks, man. Lots of time.
Yeah.
It's funny how, you talk about a lot of these things that you're doing in your summer or in the year. And like you're talking about, okay, I went on vacation, I went to this concert, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like you gloss over the fact that like you legit opened up like 2 locations.
Yeah.
Right, like
I opened a business location.
Right, like that's crazy to open up New South.
Yes.
Fairly quickly. Like that was a faster turnaround.
We had New South being built. We had like changing zoning with the city going on. My house was for sale. Yeah, my husband and I are separating. I had a couple staff members quit. Yeah. I had, what else? Oh, my dog got really sick.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ollie got real sick. And
okay now?
She's okay now.
Okay.
She's hanging in there. She's like 500 years old. She's like a little Yoda. Yeah. But it just felt like everything was happening. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like I can't do this. And then I was like, I just got to keep going. But I do want to give like, this is where when really crazy shit happens in your life, you really see how people come together for you. And like my team and my people around me, like, holy shit, the way they've rallied around me to make sure I don't fall apart has been like the most beautiful thing. It makes me see that, like, this isn't about spin classes. This isn't about any of that, you know, like, this is a community, and it's really cool, and it's kept me alive, to be honest. I don't wish separation on anyone. It's not fun, but I've like, as that description we read earlier would say, like, I'm really passionate about life, and I've been in these moments in my life where I've, like, realized how quickly things can change, and that is my driving force with everything I do. I'm like, this could all change tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's what I really run with, which is kind of like naive and like blindly confident. But I was saying to my girlfriend this morning, I'm like, but it's kind of working out.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
So, yeah.
And I think, when we talk about your community giving back to you, the reason that they've done that is because you've given them so much. And
God.
We've talked about this in the past where, like, I think it's very difficult as business owners to kind of sit back and just appreciate the communities that we've built. And I know I've told you this before, but, like, the community that you've built with Lost is beautiful, which is why that they're so supportive, is because of you, right? Like, you've built that.
My team, like, I always say, like, I will take credit for Lost. Like, I will take credit for it for sure. But, like, everything that Lost is like a collection of
100%.
the values that come into it. And this year really tested that. Like, even at Lost, like, everything was so intertwined in many ways. And I felt like in this moment, I was like, this is going to change the entire trajectory of Lost Cycle. And it has, but in such a beautiful way. I feel like I see clients helping new clients. I see clients recognizing someone new and being like, let me walk you to your bike. And I literally will cry talking about that any further. Like, though, like, that is my dream. Like, that is my dream for Lost. And it's really hard to explain that to people, because even when I'm at a party and I start to talk to people about, like, Lost, like, they always want to give me advice on, like, how I can grow it and how I should be, like, pushing it even further. And I'm like, no offense, but I kind of just want to also live my best life, because like, what if I, die young? Like, I would rather have the time of my fucking life right now with really awesome people and remember these moments and, like, slowly build Lost. I mean, I'm not really building it that slow, but it's just life's short. I guess that was the point.
Yeah. I've told you this several times, but it's like, I think the reason that Lost is so successful is because you are authentically yourself. Like, you don't try to pretend to be someone else to grow the business. You're legit, like, you talk about smoking cigs and doing bong tokes. Like, that is who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in any sort of negative way.
It's not. Like, I've realized in my life, like, as a late 30s person, like, you can try so hard to be a person that people are going to like and want to be around. And that can be so exhausting. And there's a chance that people might not even fucking like that person anyway.
Yeah, so true.
So you might as well be yourself, because then if they don't like you, then, like, whatever, at least you've stayed true to who you are. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to think I'm dope and hot as shit. But someone will, right? Like, it's... I'm trying to let go of the idea of, like, you have to make everyone happy. We don't. We really don't.
I feel like I'm starting to realize that a lot more as well. I don't know if it's just like a mid-30s thing. Don't say late 30s, by the way. Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Yeah,
okay, I'll accept it.
Yeah.
My face tells a mid-30s. Actually, no, my face is
20s.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I think it's something when you get to your 30s. And honestly, I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but being a parent and, like, even, like, business owner and, like, having more responsibility allows you to let go of a lot of that stuff, because you're like, I don't even have fucking time.
It's so true. Even, like, so whatever, we went on this trip, my parents came with us, which was amazing because they helped out with Mateo so much. And my dad's like, hey, we need to talk about the kuntaj, which is, like, the money. Like, hey, I know, you paid for this car rental. We need to give you money back. And I'm like, Dad, like, I'll be honest, for sure, we will get there. but it is like not even a little bit of a priority right now.
Yeah.
I've got so much other shit that I need to focus on.
Yeah.
So it's true. Like it does put other things into perspective, like the true priorities in your life.
It also allows you to see, like, I'm really big on like learning about like why I am the way I am or how my brain ticks, things like that. So I am diagnosed OCD, so I was like, maybe I should look into this, and it starts to make things make sense. Like it makes me understand why like I have such a hard time not following a plan, but then I cannot follow it, and I'll be like, I'm okay with this, but then I'm not. Like it helps me understand a lot, and I like to like learn about things like that so that it helps me interact with other people and understand where they might be coming from.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any other big things that are going on for the rest of the summer? Or are you going to like kind of take it easy?
You know what? I didn't even, oh my God, this is perfect that I'm like telling you this on this. Chicago, your race is in October.
Yeah.
And Maddie, Vic, and I are going to be in Chicago, I believe, that exact same weekend.
Actually, it's the weekend before the Toronto Marathon.
It is the weekend before the marathon, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
We're going to like just check out different studios.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're also going to see John Summit.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
But really, are you surprised?
No, I'm not. But you're going to listen after. But yeah. We're
DJ or?
DJ, yeah.
Okay, can I be honest? I figured it was a DJ.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was going to be a country singer.
John Summit, I guess.
Come on. Does that not sound like he is like on the top 100?
I can only picture him as like, you make me shiver.
No, I hear like on the tractor, rolling on the burn and the smearing.
No, sir.
No? Okay.
So we might be able to see your race, or we might be leaving before your race starts to get the hell out of there.
I was just going to say, like, that's going to be, did you guys book a place yet?
Yeah.
Was it crazy expensive?
Like, it wasn't cheap, but like, I just thought that was kind of
what it is.
Yeah. But then after I was like, oh, maybe it was a little more because of Chicago.
Crazy. Because I was trying to look for, I still haven't booked a place.
But I got a hotel. I'll give you a good price. It'll be like
$1,000. It's like Airbnbs, if I want it to be close to the start line, it's like $1,400 a night.
Oh my God.
It's fucked. So, but yeah, no. So today's fartlek.
Yeah.
A little bit different than what you did, but it's my first speed work in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was running every day in Portugal, but I didn't do a lot of speed work. And I just died to the point where
it's hot as fuck.
Oh man, to the point where while I'm running, I'm like, okay, I wonder if I can defer Chicago to next year.
Oh my God.
Like I do not want to run it.
You know what?
Horrible run.
We should touch on that briefly, that like speed work brings out that piece of you where you're like, why am I fucking doing this? Like 100%. Every time I do my fartlek, I'm like, I'm going to message Isaac right after this and be like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And then instead I'm like, what up, nerds on Strava? But honestly, no, it's hard. It's hard. But like speed training really like, I love it because it makes you like meet yourself where you're at and be like, you want this? Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
I totally agree. I always like one of my favorite things I always tell people is like make it suck. And
like
I think that's the one thing I really appreciate about fitness is like it can't be bought, it can't be given to you. Like you do kind of need to earn it. So when I'm in those moments of like this really freaking sucks, it's like I just need to embrace it and be like, it does suck, and I'm going to get through it and be proud of myself at the end of it. Yeah,
and not getting hung up on like what others are doing, because it's so easy to do that, and I'm so guilty of it too. You see someone like yourself who's like killing it, or I didn't see that you were able to hold a zone 2 at like a sub 5, which is insane.
Word.
But you have to like remember where we're all at.
For sure.
I've been telling people, they're like, oh, well, my pace is like nowhere near where like mine is when I'm doing my speed. I'm like, but that's me sprinting at like full capacity. And also at one point I was there too. Like you just have to allow yourself to get better at things. And we don't.
No. And you know what? It's funny on the flip side too, is to remove yourself from like the expectation that you have to always run this fast.
Yes.
Because now it's the point where like I don't think we've talked since like I'm officially the new Lululemon run ambassador, which is great.
How did we not lead with that?
I was waiting for you to bring it up so I didn't have to humble brag. But you know, with something like that, and maybe you can sort of relate to this as well, where it's like, all right, I was chosen for this. Okay, now I need to lean into this running thing, and I need to be the best runner, and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, it's not about that. It's like it's about bringing more people into the beautiful community of running.
Yes.
So even though, sure, I could have times where I'm fast, it's like I don't always have to live in that world. Like, it's okay.
People need to see us not be perfect all the time.
For sure.
To see like hope and possibility, because like no one wants to be coached by someone who's just like way above them and like and can't relate to them, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you need to be able to be like, this is where I was, like look at how my pace changes during this and this, you know, like people need that reassurance, because like it can be so daunting because we want to jump to the top, but you need to put in the time and work.
And that's honestly, I think that's one of the things I love about having people sign up for races rather than just running to run. Like running to run is totally fine. I love that. But the reason I love if people have sort of race schedules planned out is then they actually learn that you can't always run 50-kilometer weeks or 100-kilometer weeks. Like you need to build up to those things, and then, you know, you take rest and then you build up again. So it's like it gives you the opportunity to relax and push at other times throughout the year. You're not just always at 100 miles per hour every single day.
And it like teaches you how to be accountable to yourself.
Yes.
Also, for all my people out there going through any kind of breakup, like running and planning for a race is a new level of healing. Like you are going to tell me that Taylor Swift's, I know you're not going to know this, so just cover your ears, whatever. Okay. Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department album came out on my birthday, and it is all about breakups.
But isn't she in a relationship?
Yeah, that's not the point,
sorry,
Isaac.
Sorry, come on.
Bad.
You said not to talk, my bad.
Yeah, well, you're just like, Taylor Swift? Who's that?
She a DJ?
But yeah, like running is so healing, and like if you've had doubts about yourself and like maybe your ego's been like knocked down a few pegs, and you have a race and you are like blasting through that finish line, come on. Like that's such a good feeling. That's such a good way to remind yourself who the you are, you know?
And on the flip side with that too, like, you know, because there will be times if you run enough where you're going to run a race and it's not going to be the race that you want.
Yeah.
It's still cool to be in the environment and be surrounded by people who like thousands and tens of thousands of people who have been training for just as long as you have, putting in the hours. You see, you know, a 90-year-old, maybe not 90, an 87-year-old man, that was the case in the Ottawa Marathon, running. Like you see all these people from different walks of life doing that, and like to me, like that's inspirational.
Yes.
Scott, right, who's going to Lost now.
Yeah.
Like he just got the sign today that he's cancer free.
Yay,
and it's
Scott.
like throughout that whole journey he was really making fitness a priority, and like it's so cool. Like it's so inspiring to see those people run. Not just the people running really, really fast. Like, to me, that's not the impressive thing. It's the people that are like, they never thought they were going to run a marathon or a half marathon or a 5K. And then they go out and do it. And they're like, holy shit, I never thought I can do that.
Yeah.
That's what's
I think that's why I just love being at races. Like, I was at Forest City. Even though I couldn't run it this year.
You went to Toronto too, didn't you?
Yeah. And I just was like going nuts, like ringing my bell and everything, because I just love it, because I know that feeling, that like emotional feeling of like, holy shit, I'm doing this. And I'm so psyched to race Toronto. And I just like, I'm going to be so nervous and it's going to be so crazy. But like, it's the best feeling. It's a wild concept to think you train for like essentially a year for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
I know.
You know, like that's crazy.
And I don't know if it was maybe Emily that was talking about it, where it's like the other thing, and this is why I'm very big on controlling the variables that you can control. Like put in the training time, put in the miles, make sure you're planning your nutrition properly, like control those things, make sure your outfit's all good, like all that should be controlled. Because the things you can't control, like the weather, right? Like you never know if On race day, it's a torrential downpour.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, fuck, maybe my sub 3 hour attempt is not going to happen now because it's raining and it's super windy. Like, that's the scary stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's important to go in with your goal, but not be married to it because you have no idea some of the variables that you can't control.
Yeah, there's so many things that can happen on a race day. I remember one of my worst, I use that like that term loosely, worst for me. I did Toronto Waterfront half. I had been so sick right before it, and I should have just like bowed out of the race, but I was like, you know what? I'll be fine. I ran it. I was dying. I think I finished it 2:20, but I was like not well. Like I finished it and I was like taking photos like, kill me now. Like I just felt like shit. So Waterfront and I have like a rocky relationship because it's been my best race and my worst race. Yeah. And then hopefully my best again. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows, Kat?
That's good. It's fun. It's fun. So other than Chicago, no other big plans for the summer?
Not really. Like now my summer is a little more chill.
That's good.
I just get to kind of like enjoy life and focus on my running again.
Yeah. Cool.
I've been skipping a few here and there. Just a few. Just a few.
That's good. Now it's dial time. 12 weeks. Well, this is 12th week.
Yes.
Like,
go time.
Yeah, we put in the work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Training in this heat has been a whole beast.
Balls.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's a lot because I just find that like I can feel that kind of like lactic acid build up so much faster.
Yeah.
And like,
Do you feel it in your head? Like I run around like I think my head is going to explode. Like it's horrible.
Yeah. And I get almost like nauseous.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a little kid when you like ran out onto the playground too fast and you're like, I feel sick. That's me.
I went for a run not yesterday, the day before. Monday. And one of the worst runs I've ever had.
Ugh.
It was like a 14K, supposed to be zone 2.
And it was hot.
And it was hot. I held a zone 2 pace, not a zone 2 heart rate. Mm-hmm. My heart rate was like at the end of it 180, 181.
Wow.
At a zone 2 pace. And like not a sub 5 zone 2 pace.
Yeah.
I was dying. I don't know if it's because I was jet lagged. That probably was a part of it. Yeah. Not feeling that good.
There's certain days where I know like this isn't going to go well.
Yes.
And I just kind of accept it. And now I'm like, my biggest thing is letting go of things like not being perfect and then just like reminding myself that like one of my little reminders I give myself often, and people can feel free to steal this, is like I always say I'm not a little bitch though. Like I'm not like so if I'm like not going for a run or I'm like skipping my fartlek for the week, I'm like, but I'm not a little bitch. Like I'm gonna get it done one way or another. Like if I'm not doing my speed training, I'm probably doing another spin class. So like one way or another, it's gonna get done.
Yeah.
Is my mentality. So I always like, I don't know, I remind people, especially like fitness people who tend to get a little neurotic about what they're doing. I'm like, but you're not a bitch. So like, it's fine if you bow out of things every now and then. Isaac,
why are you trying to
smoke some cigarettes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you trying to call me out here?
I know. I'm like, take a breather.
God, there's
you're like, I can't rest.
I can't. No. So there's a guy, Jocko Willing. You would definitely not vibe with him, but.
Why is he like very regimented?
Very hardcore. But he talks about this whole concept of like good. So like making excuses. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to run because it's raining outside.
That's me.
And he's like, good. Like it's good that it's raining. You need to go run. Or it's like, oh, it's really hot. He's like, good. You need to go fucking run. I live more of that lifestyle. Like,
so that's called toxic.
Oh, definitely.
And gaslighting.
100%. While you were talking, I'm like, oh man, Jocko Willing would just be like, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is not a healthy approach.
No.
I'm not saying that people should do that.
I used to have more of that approach, and then I just found that like I'm actually better at getting things done when I like psych myself up in a positive way. Like if I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do my run today, but you know what? I'm going to get up early. I'm going to put on dope beats, and I'm going to get out there on Wednesday morning. Like I'll just like plan around it and then like let it go if I don't get it done.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm kind of like in between. So Jocko is like very much every single day, no excuses sort of thing.
Yikes.
Then there's, and do you know what? That will work for some people. That's fine, right? Like what works for him might not work for me, might not work for you. James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, he has this whole concept of never missing twice. That is what I subscribe to more than Jocko.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, I missed my fartlek today, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. Yeah. And I subscribe to this thing of like, I don't want to miss twice. Yeah. So if I didn't do my thing today and then I said I'm going to do it tomorrow and I didn't do it tomorrow, it's like, no. Now I'm starting to fall into this excuse loop. But for some people, maybe it's never missed 3 times. Like it can be a little bit different, but I think it's good to have some grace built in. Like we can't expect to be perfect.
Yeah. And how you like recover from that. Like sometimes if I feel like I'm not like having a good running week or like hitting my runs, then I'm like, well, then when I do this one run, like make it a really good one. Plan ahead, like, you know, like make up for lost time kind of thing.
This is where, honestly, this is why I do feel that everybody needs a coach. Like if you're trying to train for something, because it's not even, and I don't talk about this with my clients very often, but it's not about giving you the program to help you succeed. It's almost about giving you permission to take breaks or take it easy. Because most people try to do too much when they're training for something, where it's like, well, sometimes you have to do less, right? So I think you're the perfect example with Forest City, right? Like it was nice to have, I'm assuming, it was nice to have me to give you the permission of like, yo, dude, I know you don't need my permission, but to hear it from someone like, you probably shouldn't run. Like it's your decision at the end of the day, but I'm telling you, it's probably not worth it. Like I think it's okay to hear those things. And when you have a coach, right? When you have a coach that you have trust in, you're like, okay, well, I trust Isaac. If he's saying it's okay, then like, all right, I know it's not going to be the end of the world. Yeah. And then same thing if like someone misses a fartlek and they're like, oh man, I missed that fartlek. And it's like, you know what? We're 18 weeks out. Don't worry about it. Or we're 12 weeks out. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah. Like I think it's good to have that sort of guidance. So it's not all on you.
Yeah. And it's also like, well, what do you want out of this? You know, like I think like we see it at Lost sometimes where people are like, well, I really want to be able to like ride every day. And I'm like, but where did this number come from? You know, like you don't have to do anything. Yeah. Ride as much as it feels good for you. And like everyone's goal is going to be different. I have tons of clients who ride more than me. You know, like there's a lot of variation in what is doable for people. Yeah. And like what brings you joy. I always remind myself that like fitness needs to be the add-on to my life, not like the be all end all. And if it's not fun anymore for me, then like brat version of me is like, then I'm not doing it. I'm not like, I want to have fun with it. And I don't want to feel like I'm grinding it out, because for so long in my like former life, it was like trying to eat less, work out more. And I'm like, no, I'm going to have fun with it. Yeah. And it's funny because like I'm having way more fun with everything in my life, and I feel way better, and like I'm gaining muscle, and you know, it's cool.
Well, it's funny you talk about like get permission with those things, because we, for the first time in like 5 years, so we have like our 3-class per week membership, or it's 12 times per month technically. So people can like with shift work, they can do more on given weeks. But now we have like an unlimited option. And the reason we've always done 3 is because, to your point, I think there's some people that want to do more, but realistically they're at a point in their life where they can't. Like I think of my wife, for example, like she would love to work out every single day, but she's busy. She works full time. She has Mateo that she's taking care of. I obviously help with that. But like, you know, giving her the permission of like, yo, just come 3 times or come 2 times this week. Like, don't feel like you need to come every single day for you to have to see success. So I think it's nice to give people that permission of like, yo, dude, we don't need to.
And not like comparing yourself to people like you or myself who are like, this is our whole thing.
This is our job.
Like, this is our thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like you run a lot. Like I look at your Strava and I'm like, Isaac does not rest. And then I look at my own Strava and I'm like, Cortney does not rest. You know, like we look kind of nutty on these things, but like it's also what we do for a living.
That's
so
right.
like it kind of makes sense to me where that's why I'm quick to remind people if they're like, oh, but you like teach like 8 times a week. I'm like, yeah, I also don't go to like an office from 9 to 5, you know, like it's so different. Like it's my whole gig.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. And I think it's obviously sometimes really difficult for people to understand that.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like everyone is at different stages of their life.
Totally.
And I think people need to reassess every year where they're at.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at this year is different from where I was at 4 years ago.
Totally.
Right? So we're all going to be capable of different things at different points of our life.
And your priorities change. Like sometimes people, like this year I'm super into running. Next year I'm hoping that I'll like keep that going.
Yeah.
But who knows, right? Like maybe I get into boxing and I become like a fighter.
There we go. UFC. But like with priorities.
Yeah.
Okay, so running's a priority, but then you decide to open up a new location. It's like,
exactly.
Okay, well, I obviously have to shift some focus. Like that's 100% acceptable.
Yeah. And that's, you know, what's really hard. I can like speak to that too, is that like, it was so hard during all the chaos of my life this year to like not beat myself up about like missing runs. Like I was so hard on myself. And then I had to keep being like, okay, if this was my friend though going through this and was like, oh, I didn't make my run, I'd be like, are you nuts? Like take a break.
Yeah.
So I had to really like allow myself to just be like, chill, focus on the fall, focus on just getting through friggin' right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And it's, you know, I don't think we've talked about this before, but like when you have a specific goal, like we'll just use running, for example, it's to me, the goal of whatever finishing the marathon or half marathon in a specific time is almost the same as like people wanting to be a specific weight.
Yeah.
Where just because you get it, it doesn't like.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to change anything.
No.
Yeah.
Like I remember, so my first goal was to run sub 3 and I did it. Mm-hmm. And then I had another goal of trying to run 2:55 and I did it. And I remember when I completed it, I was like happy for no word of a lie. Maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I basked in the glory of, holy crap, this is amazing.
That's
like,
such a good point.
It didn't really change anything, right? And I just, guess what I did? I moved the goalpost. So it's like, okay, well now I ran 2:55. Maybe I can run 2:53 or 2:54. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm 150. Maybe I could be 145
you
or
could
143.
you could just keep going until
it
you
just
die.
Always goes. So like, I think it's more important to fall in love with the process of, hey, let's go running to clear our head or to like run with friends. Like focus on the fun of training rather than the destination.
That's such a good point because like that kind of mentality translates to, I think, so much in our society. I think that like, kind of off topic, but like I feel like this is what happens a lot with people when they're like having a huge wedding and then like they spend this year planning all these events and making their friends go to all this shit and spend all this money. No shade on that.
Yeah. Nope.
It's just that like there's so much going on. It's so about you. You have this big day. It's all about you. And then it's just over and you're married and nothing is fucking different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then people are like, it's like they've lost that high. So to me, this is just my perspective, my opinion. Then it feels like people are like, okay, well, like, let's have a baby. And then it's like, now let's build that momentum again. So it's like, you can just keep adding things to your life the same way. You could have another kid, you could move, you could whatever. But like at some point you have to decide like life just needs to also be enough as it is.
For sure.
And that kind of goes to that like race goal. It's true. Like I think about my own goal and I'm like, so what changes once I hit that?
Then you're like, okay, well I can go faster.
Like obviously I'm going to brag about it for the next 14 weeks after that race.
Yeah.
Like Keegan will want me to.
Yeah.
But other than like it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think, that is the reason that I've seen success and when I say success, that's whatever, it's my definition. But like where I've reached my goals in running isn't because I'm thinking of like, okay, I want to run the sub 3. It's more of like, I just really enjoy training. Like I love training for things. I don't like I don't mind studying for the test. I hate taking the test.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, I hate running the race, but I love training for the race.
Yeah.
So it's like fall in love with the process.
That's true. That's true. I'm trying to fall in love with the process more, but the process has been fucking ripping me apart this year.
Yeah.
The process is literally like
Yeah.
me standing in the rain, smoking a cigarette, and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's my process this year.
Yeah. That's fine.
But I honestly, many times on my runs, I'm like visualizing crossing that finish line in Toronto and just like bursting into tears and just being like, whatever time I come in at, like just being like, this. Yeah. Now it's done.
Yeah. That's
what's next.
I think that often when I'm training too, like if hard fartlek or end of a long run, I always think to myself when it's feeling really shitty,
it's almost done.
And this is what it's going to feel like on race day.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, like, right? It's like, hey, this is it. Like, love this feeling because this is what it's going to feel like on race day.
That's true. And I haven't raced in so long.
You'll be fine.
I'm scared I'm going to poop my pants. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I'm the king of that. Don't worry, I got you.
I think if I wore black, I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Brown. We're brown.
We're brown.
Yeah, we're brown.
Actually, after the race last year, I remember being like, where's Isaac? And I was like, probably shitting his pants. And someone was like, oh, no, he actually is in the washroom right now.
Oh, yeah. Horrible. Toronto was worse than, well, no, Ottawa was the worst, like the first time I did Ottawa.
Oh, my God.
But I was lucky because, like, as soon as I crossed the finish line, there was like a border potty.
And you just ran straight in.
Straight in. But for Toronto, you finish.
And then you have to go into the square.
Yeah, and then where the porta potties were, none of them had toilet paper. So I'm like, yo, dude, I ain't trusting what's gonna happen now.
You're like, where's that race shirt?
Yeah, this is gonna need some water or something. So
that is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't be me.
No, it won't be. This is why, and I'm gonna tell our run club this sometime next week. This is where it's like you need to start to practice how you're gonna eat around your race because you don't want the browns.
Wear brown.
Don't wear white.
Oh my God. Yeah. Imagine. I love it.
Do not wear white.
Okay. Well, I think we will need to have a segment on nutrition.
Yeah.
Your favorite word.
100%. Be careful when you bring it up.
Yeah. And then my segment will be on how to maintain running a race while being a party girl, being a brat.
Being a brat. I like it.
You can do both.
I like it.
And I'm going to prove it on October 20th.
Yep.
Is the race day that I knew.
Yeah. I don't know when mine is either. I just know it's a week before that.
Honestly, like, is all of this year just for me to finish this race, to rub it in your face that I was still able to hit my goal?
Yes.
But then also knowing that if I don't hit it, you'll be like, now remember when you said you were just going to smoke darts all summer? Should have thought about that, girl.
So you're gonna ruin my whole program if you succeed. Like,
That's
God damn it! Now people are gonna be smoking.
You'll be like,
cigs.
follow the program, listen to the carbs, and I'll be like, you don't need to.
Hey, try these Marlboros.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at you knowing darts. Those are American cigarettes. So.
Darn it. Export, is that one?
I think.
That's like an old school one. No.
I think.
Okay, we got to stop talking about this.
Yeah, we can't be promoting cigarettes.
I always like. I know this every time, but I love being reminded. Whenever we chat, I think it's why, because I always get feedback on like our podcast. People really like them.
Is the feedback like just stop?
No, it's
stop.
because
Period.
People love it because we're so different.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs, but we still can agree on things. Yeah. And it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, because you're like, when vacation Isaac's out, he goes and gets himself a little protein. And I was like, when Cortney lands in any destination, gas station, energy drink, vape in one hand, weed vape in one hand, cigarette in the other.
Yeah.
Camelback full of like some kind of energy drink.
Yeah. See, if we get big enough, we got to go on a little road trip.
Yeah.
You and I, and that just needs to be fully documented to see how different we are.
I feel like though I would stress you out.
I don't know.
But you would maybe not. I don't know.
I think I would stress you out.
Yeah, you would for sure.
Like if you're on vacation, what time do you get up?
Honestly, early. Like I'm an early girly.
Okay.
Like I would be up at like 6:30.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm seizing the day.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah,
What time do you go to bed?
Probably on vacation, maybe later. I don't know.
Like what's later though?
I like to be in bed by 10 to give myself like a good hour to watch some shows.
Yeah, that's not vacation though.
Oh, vacation? I don't know. I mean, my last one, I was out till like 1, like a crazy girl.
Yeah. So, sorry, quick side quest. So in Lisbon, I would usually wake up at like 6 a.m. to do my runs. And I would go out for my runs, and no word of a lie, there would be people coming out of the clubs. Like,
oh yeah,
girls dressed up like crazy.
Late, yeah.
Oh man, like all the streets were just full of young people. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. No, I couldn't do that.
6 a.m., 6:30, 7 a.m.
But they go out later, right?
Yeah, they don't go out to the clubs until like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah. And then they're like having some help.
I couldn't. Even in like my prime.
No, I could.
I couldn't.
I could do it. And I would make you do it.
Oh man,
we go to a rave and then race in the morning.
Jeez.
Honestly, I'm seeing this a lot on TikTok and Instagram. Well, not TikTok because I don't have TikTok, but like I assume TikTok, of people like being like, you can do both, and like showing like clips of them like running a race, but then also like raving. And I'm like,
you totally could.
That's me.
100%. I actually don't think. Yeah, I would never tell someone like you can't do this if you want to do this. You can totally do both.
It also depends on your personality, I think.
And it depends on your goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you want to run a 1:15, I might be like, yo dog, doing
ease up.
You might need to ease up.
Also because no, that's fair. But we'll see. October, we come back. We come back.
So I ran a 59-minute half marathon. I'm like, what?
I like literally collapse a lung trying to prove a point.
Yeah. Wow. Have you seen the article? I'm gonna try to find it. It was this guy chain smoking during an entire marathon.
Oh my God, is that my future husband?
And he ran it so fast.
No way.
Yeah. I'll try to find it and send it your way.
I also I recognize that I'm not really like selling myself great to be re-entering the single market. But as many of you know, you gotta be able to keep up with me.
Yeah.
This girl on the move. Girl on the move.
That's 100%. You can't stop being you now.
No. It's already out there.
Lean into it. Brat girl summer.
Brat girl summer. Do you know what brat is?
Brat.
Like you asking people in movement.
Yeah. I said, do you know what brat girl summer is? You're like, it's just brat summer.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just brat. Or you're like, do you know what brat is? And like.
Yeah.
Oh, Isaac.
It's going to be you realize that is going to be the question I ask at Run Club tonight too.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
But word it like a normal person.
So how do I ask
You're
it?
like, have you heard of Brat Summer?
Okay, say that.
Yeah.
Okay, have you heard of
Brat
Brat
Summer?
Summer?
Do you know Brat?
Do you know Barat? All right. Cool. As always, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to book our next one so it's not so long from now.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, thanks for taking the time. Bye-bye.